reality. Charred, broken strings of names scattered across the place. Memories burned and forgotten, the ones we couldn't face. We seek to be ourselves, yet we fall through the cracks. Murdered, harassed, beaten. Up and up the names stack. A fragile hope burns dimly within the dark surrounding us. We reach and clasp hands to reforge our shattered trust. It's August 2012. I hop down the 3 steps to the lower area of Mocker Union at UNI. It was right around this area that people from the LGBT group would congregate, laughing and smiling, their faces welcoming to all who walked by, except that day, no one was there. The tables were empty except for one in the corner, where 4 people sat. The men wore jerseys and the girl a skirt and a yellow blouse. I sat down at an empty table, not really giving them much thought. As I pulled out my physics textbook, I heard one of them say way too loudly, "What the hell is that?" I know, right? Thought it was a guy at first. It was one of the guys. Then it walked closer. The girl laughed. The thing from Mocker. I mean, look at it. Best to put it out of its misery. Their words felt like bullets shot into my skin. That day, I'd worn only plain jeans and a loose t-shirt. Curls hugged my scalp, my hair cut short. I had not started any sort of physical transition. Slowly I turned to see one of the guys pointing straight at me. "It's looking at us!" The guy on the right shifted his chair closer to the others. "What do you want, freak?" he called out. I snatched my textbook, threw it in my bag, and leapt to my feet. Laughter erupted behind me as I half ran out of the eating area, down a few steps toward the bathroom. I hesitated at the signs, the brief moment of indecision curdling in my stomach. Which one was safe? I was assigned female at birth, but my gender identity, it didn't fit either. I flinched and threw open the door to the women's restroom. For a few brief moments, fear clutched my stomach, and I felt like I was going to puke. But no one stood by the sinks. None of the stall doors were shut. I chose one at random and sat down. Tears stung my eyes. I'd let them get to me, but how could I not? I've been treated like a thing, not even human. I put my head in my hands and just sat there. After a while, my right leg went numb. I stood shaking in the bed. The sinks were directly in front of me, and a giant wall mirror reflected my image back at me. "What do you want, freak?" echoed in my head, and I turned to the faucet and splashed my face. What I wanted was to be treated like a human being, to be treated with respect and dignity, to not have to face threats, nasty words, or violence on a regular basis. I just wanted to be myself and to not have to live in fear. But I didn't get that. Not here, at least, and certainly not that day. I splashed my face again with water. The cold droplets dripped off my chin to the still sink. At least I was still alive. It felt so fragile a hope, one that could be so quickly torn away. It's November 2015. I started hormones a year ago now, and I'm still on a low dose. Fear kept me from starting for so long, but it reached a point where the painful dysphoria was choking the life from me. Now I sit at my desk and read yet another article of another death, murdered, suicide. The numbers stack up higher and higher. The death count sinks me into despair. 22, 23, 139, numbers, names. Zella, Taya, Penny, Vanessa, Christina, Maya, London, Ashton, India, and so many more have been taken from us. So many of my trans friends struggle to find jobs, struggle for health care, struggle to just survive. That same hatred and disrespect spewed at me at the university blooms unhindered within our society. I hear it in the jokes told at work about those that don't pass. I hear it every time a cisgender person complains about gender-neutral pronouns. I hear it in the emergency room when nurses joke about my body. I find it at doctors refusing care for fellow trans folks, our insurances denying coverage. I see it when trans folks are denied access to bathrooms or verbally or physically harassed in them. I see it every time my partner and I are misgendered, when she receives stares that leave her uncomfortable and concerned for her safety. Everywhere we go, we walk carefully, cautiously, and always that same question haunts us. Who can we trust? Who will stand with us in our fight for equality? Yet another one of us has died, murdered by those who hate. The count weighs us down. Would this be all our fate? To be beaten and broken, painted as a vile freak, trapped in a web of fear, voiceless even when we speak? A fragile hope burns dimly within the dark surrounding us. We reach and clasp hands to reforge a shattered trust. Thank you.